It just got incredibly real, and the whispers have turned into a roar. Damian Lillard could be headed to the Golden State Warriors. That headline alone sends shockwaves through the NBA landscape, and especially the Bay Area. Lillard, the dynamic three-time All-NBA guard who recently suffered a devastating Achilles tear in the playoffs, was reportedly waived by the Milwaukee Bucks to create roster flexibility. Now his name is being linked to a franchise that desperately needs upgrades, and perhaps a splash of hometown flavor. Picture this: Damian Lillard, back where it all began, ripping up the Oracle Arena, running the same backcourt where he grew up watching Stephen Curry shine. That narrative alone is irresistible, and Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy might see that emotional pull as both smart branding and savvy basketball, yet the timing and strategy are befuddling. Lillard is out for the entirety of next season, and while he'll still collect the money owed from the remainder of his 2-year contract paid out over the next 5 seasons, the fact remains that he's not available to help now. That's an Achilles tear, remember. The consensus among front offices and medical experts is that he might not return until the All-Star break in 2026 at the earliest. Most likely, he misses the entire year, so why pursue him right now? First, let's break down the Bucks' motivation. Milwaukee, in a stunning summer move, waived Lillard to clear cap space and sign Miles Turner. Their objective: keep Giannis Antetokounmpo engaged and avoid a trade request. They also re-signed Bobby Portis and brought in Turner, remaking the roster around their superstar. It's all about stability. Keep Giannis happy, keep winning. The financial gymnastics involved in waiving Lillard were part of that equation, and now Milwaukee has the flexibility they desperately needed. Golden State, meanwhile, is in desperation mode. Their cap is tight, maybe not as tight as Milwaukee's in the future, but still constricted. They were rumored to be pursuing a center: Portis, Brook Lopez, even Adri Ayton was floated. All fell through. Now they're rumored to be focused on a player who can't suit up next season. The logic is head-scratching. Lillard, at 35 years old, tearing Achilles, plagued with diminished explosiveness post-injury, won't contribute meaningfully until 2026. The Warriors need immediate help, especially down low, and Lillard can't pitch in there. Even if he signs a veteran minimum around $4 million per year for 2 years, say $8 million total, that's not going to help them next season. It's a gamble on future production and emotional resonance, not present impact. And then there is the financial quagmire that the Warriors face. They've got 10 players on their active roster and are drowning in salary banked by Jonathan Kuminga's qualifying offer. Right now, Kuminga is deciding whether to take the roughly $7.9 million qualifying offer, potentially giving Golden State cap relief, but if he declines or another team signs him away, the Warriors remain strapped. Offering a contract to Lillard, which would count as part of their cap, only makes their situation tighter. If they miss out on Kuminga and attempt to sign and trade, but are blocked by contracts they can't shake, they'd be left hamstrung, with limited opportunity to land a center or meaningful contributor for next year. It risks turning a precarious situation into a straitjacket. Off the court, though, the pull is compelling. Lillard's homecoming would be a PR dream. He's from the Bay Area, went to high school in Oakland, and has been vocal about his love for the city. Some cite a podcast he did 2 years ago, where Lillard said chasing a championship with Golden State didn't make sense. Given their existing core, they've won for championships. What do I look like joining my home team? So the question is whether that stance has softened following his injury, his changing career arc, and a desire to play somewhere familiar during rehab. And the appeal for fans, Damian Lillard coming home, is undeniably strong. Still, from a basketball standpoint, it feels like a reach. Even if we take the optimistic timeline, Lillard back by mid-2026, and accept that his individual metrics remain respectable: 25 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists, 38 to 39% from 3 at age 36. That's a future return, not immediate payoff. The Warriors, entering next season with Stephen Curry aging as well, need to stay competitive now. A depleted frontcourt, a lack of rim protector, and shaky depth could hamper their playoff hopes. Slating Lillard next to Curry gives you perhaps the shortest, oldest backcourt in the NBA, prone to exploitation on defense and lacking the length to guard modern wings. Let's be clear, this is a 2-year-ago move if they're buying in on a 2026-27 run. But unless they can simultaneously shed Kuminga, land a center, and banking on Lillard's homecoming, it looks like a desperate pivot. And among Warriors fans, many of whom have been jaded by inexperience, heavy drafting, and limited Off-season moves, the response is heated. Mike Dunleavy, do better, is the prevailing sentiment. Some suggest patience is virtuate until next summer when cap space and roster flexibility allow for more meaningful acquisitions. Others fear creative desperation may override prudent strategy. At the end of the day, the link between Lillard and Golden State is fueled by hometown lore, emotional storyline, and perhaps a belief that next year's cap relief and roster moves could align, but treating the move as a present-season fix is illogical. Could the Warriors sign Lillard on a veteran minimum deal? Stash him while clearing space later for a center? Technically, yes. Would fans buy the story and rally behind the injured hometown hero? Absolutely. Will it translate to wins in 2025-26? Virtually zero chance. So here we are, left with one of the strangest trade rumors in recent memory, one that blends NBA strategy with sports storytelling in a way that leaves the brain scratching. Is it the worst idea ever? Maybe, but sometimes in the NBA, the most eye-popping stories end up moving off the board. And if the Warriors manage to swing enough moves, trade Kuminga, land a big, they might convince themselves that a future Damian Lillard is worth the present uncertainty. Until then, though, this feels like a half-court shot from beyond the arc. Dramatic, exciting if it lands, but wildly unrealistic if it doesn't. As the Damian Lillard to Warriors saga continues to swirl through social media, NBA forums, and fan conversations, the deeper implications for Golden State's strategy and identity become clearer. This isn't just about signing a name. It's about what kind of team the Warriors want to be over the next 2 or 3 years, and whether this front office believes in building for tomorrow or salvaging today. Because right now, the franchise seems stuck between timelines tethered to both the final prime years of Stephen Curry and the developmental arc of players like Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, and Jonathan Kuminga. And bringing in an injured, aging Damian Lillard does not cleanly fit either path. Let's talk about the potential dynamics if Lillard were to join this squad. On paper, a Lillard-Curry backcourt looks dazzling. You've got two of the best shooters of this generation, possibly in league history, in the same lineup. But that's assuming both are healthy, clicking, and able to share the ball at a high level. That's also assuming Lillard returns from a torn Achilles at full strength, an assumption that history tells us is rarely accurate. Look at the track records. For every Kevin Durant, who returned from an Achilles tear and reclaimed elite status, there are more examples of players who never quite regained their previous explosion or stamina. The risk is massive, especially for a team with championship aspiration. And even if Lillard returns at 70 or 80% of his former self, what then? You've now got a 36-year-old Lillard playing beside a 38-year-old Curry. That's a backcourt built on wisdom and shooting, sure, but not on athleticism or defense. Opposing teams would target that duo night after night, exploiting matchups in the pick and roll and attacking the rim with impunity. Golden State's defense would suffer unless they found elite defenders to surround the pair. And with limited cap space, finding and affording those kinds of glue guys becomes nearly impossible. Now consider the timing of this whole thing. Lillard isn't available for the upcoming season. That's not speculation, that's reality. He won't touch the floor in a game situation until the second half of 2026, best case scenario. So what message does signing him now send? That the Warriors are willing to punt this season in hopes of a miraculous return? Or are they trying to win now while also gambling on Lillard? As a long-term investment, it feels like a contradiction. You can't seriously chase a championship next year while using one of your few roster spots on a player who's medically unavailable, especially not when your roster is already top-heavy and devoid of front-court help. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In what's being whispered across front offices and social media feeds alike, a bold move might be brewing between the Golden State Warriors and the Chicago Bulls. While nothing is official, league insiders suggest a potential deal that would send forward Jonathan Kuminga to the Windy City in exchange for Bulls guard Coby White. A swap that could significantly shift the identity of both squads heading into next season. The Warriors, long known for their dynamic shooting and ball movement, may be looking to fortify their second unit with a steady hand at the point. Coby White, fresh off a breakout season in Chicago, has shown increased maturity, improved playmaking, and a calm control of tempo that could be the perfect stabilizer off the bench in Golden State. With Chris Paul gone and the team leaning heavily on Steph Curry, the front office may see White as the perfect bridge between lineups, capable of both leading the offense and playing off the ball when needed. On the other side of the potential deal, Jonathan Kuminga brings athleticism, energy, and upside. That could intrigue a retooling Bulls team, still just 21. Kuminga's flashes of two-way brilliance and ability to play multiple positions make him an attractive piece for any team thinking beyond just the next playoff push. For Chicago, who has been dancing on the line between contention and rebuild, Kuminga could represent a commitment to youth and versatility, especially if the front office is preparing to move on from aging core pieces. While no official trade talks have been confirmed by either franchise, the buzz continues to grow. Are the Warriors ready to part with a young, high-ceiling wing in favor of a more polished, reliable backcourt presence? Could the Bulls be positioning themselves for a youth-first rebuild as the offseason heats up? Keep an eye on the Bay and the Windy City. This could be more than just smoke. It might be the spark of a major offseason fire. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.